Good morning, Minnesota DFLers, and welcome to the DFL Daily. Richard Carlbaum here, chair of the Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor Party. We're here with you each and every day at 10:45, giving you the message, the action, and the tools to take one more concrete step toward winning big in the 2026 midterm election this November. We've got just a couple of things to highlight. I first of all want to say this weekend, we're going to mark 100 days away from the November 3rd midterm election. And so our team is doing a massive weekend of action. And we're going to do everything we can to talk to voters at the door this weekend. And so our team's going to drop a link in the chat. You can go to dfl.org/events to find all of the mobilized links to all of our weekend of action, door knock and canvassing events happening throughout the state. I'm going to be launching some. Senator Klobuchar will be launching some. Our congressional candidates are launching some. Keith Elson's going to be out there working hard. I want you to be out there with us. Please, if you can, share these links with your local units. Make sure that you're posting this in everywhere you can. We want to encourage as many volunteers as possible to hit the doors with us this weekend and hit as many doors as we can. We'll report into you on Monday morning exactly how many doors and how many conversations we had this coming weekend next week. So please, please, please push this out as far and wide as you can. We also know that there's a lot of working family picnics happening throughout the state right now. So please, if you can attend one of those and bring a friend, somebody who's never been to a DFL event before, that would be amazing. Again, all of these events can be found at dfl.org/events and on Mobilize. All right, we're going to get into today's topic, and it's going to be something we've been talking about all week, which is Republican decisions are making costs increase for Minnesota families. So I want to start with a local clip that ran a while back because it says a lot about where we are and who is responsible for where we are right now. Here's the thing. None of this is by accident. These are choices. This clip says the quiet part out loud. Higher prices are a choice Republicans are making. Let's watch.
We start with a live look at 35W in South Minneapolis as people head home for the evening. Well, the news tonight, that drive is getting a lot more expensive.
And I'm sure you're noticing gas prices are topping $4 a gallon nationwide, the highest since 2022. In Minnesota, prices are a bit lower, partly due to our proximity to major oil producers in Canada and North Dakota. The bottom line, the higher fuel costs drive up other expenses.
Ellen Gallus is live in Minneapolis with that tonight because we know your money matters. Ellen?
Well, that's right. The prices at the pump can have a trickle-down effect that you'll start to see everywhere, from airline tickets to food to your utility bills. There are a lot of us doing math at the pump right now and wondering how things will keep adding up.
I paid, it's about $44 today, so I don't have a real big tank compared to some people, I suppose. But yeah, usually it's like $30. I think I'm usually paying around $30 to fill up, or a little over that. So it's quite a big difference.
According to AAA, the national average for a gallon of gas is $4.01, which is over $1 more than when the war with Iran first began just over a month ago. Here in Minnesota, the average price is just $3.41. But when prices climb at the pump, it can impact the cost of many goods we buy on a regular basis. We're already seeing a spike in the cost of airfare, and consumer experts say home heating costs and shipping costs could come next.
When oil prices spike.
John Spry, a professor of finance at the Opus College of Business at the University of St. Thomas, says you'll also start to notice price increases on certain fresh items in your grocery aisle. But he says there are other types of food items that will be slower to increase.
And as a consumer shopping, things that have to be flown in. So if you like fresh lobster, fresh seafood, or if you like fresh flowers, those things have to be flown in, and the transportation cost goes up with the jet fuel. You'd see it to a lesser degree in perishable food items.
This might be where the numbers start to climb, but it's certainly not where it ends.
My rent's gone up, electricity's gone up, propane's gone up, everything's gone up. So it's like, it's just one more thing to add on. Everything has gotten more expensive. All the bills have gotten more expensive.
Now, ending on a bit of a positive note here, there are some goods and services that aren't really impacted by all this.
So there you are. There you have it. That is what's happening because of Republican choices. Republicans like Brad Finstead, Michelle Fischbach, Pete Stauber, and Tom Emmer choose to support Donald Trump's war of choice in Iran, and it's spiking up costs. Gas prices aren't just about gas. Later in the video, they say prices have gone up as a direct result of the war in Iran. Gas shot up because of that, rents up, groceries are up, electricity and propane are up. Here's what I found interesting. This story said that gas prices are going up won't affect everything. The price of gas doesn't have a connection to healthcare, is what the report said. Even by that logic, Donald Trump and Republicans still chose to vote to raise your healthcare costs. They have made the decision that working people can handle the extra costs. Just absorb it. One less trip to Starbucks is what Poya tells us. So here's some GOP logic. Apparently, the Americans spending $56 billion more dollars on gas isn't enough of a cost for Republicans. So Republicans said, let's get rid of the tax credit that people could use to lower healthcare costs. Higher deductibles, higher monthly costs, roughly $3,000 more, just to keep the coverage they already had. So when the guy from the video in River Falls says everything's gotten more expensive, that's a choice Republicans are making. That's the choice Republicans have made. And it's a choice they keep making. Every day they let this war go on. Every day they choose to further break our healthcare system. Every day they choose to send costs soaring. So let's compare that. Jake Johnson, candidate for Congress in Southern Minnesota, has a taxpayer protection pledge. And he laid it out last week, and it was amazing. We're going to put the link in the chat to his taxpayer protection pledge. I want you to check it out, and I want you to share it with your networks. What did he focus on? He's being able to focus on how people can afford their lives. Jake is a union member. He's a school teacher. His union background and strong labor values have helped bring his community stronger schools and better supported teachers. The consequences of these DFL decisions: better teaching quality, reasonable wages, happier families. Jake is very vocal about rebuilding our export markets and lowering input costs for our farmers, small businesses, and families. He's argued that healthcare cuts have directly hit the Southern Minnesota economy. It's hit the 4 clinics that have already had to close in his district. And Brad Finstad, he's absolutely nowhere to be found. He's not willing to answer a single question. Why do you keep choosing to make life more expensive? Why do you choose Donald Trump, his war of choice in Iran, his healthcare cuts over Southern Minnesotans? Jake Johnson is answering the affordability question every single day. His answer: we're going to bring costs down. That's the contrast. It's illustrated by these 2 stories that we're going to drop into the chat. Jake Johnson on the math behind affordability, and what does Brad Finstad done to increase costs. Republicans choose to raise your costs. Our Democrats are going to do everything we can to bring them down. So today's call to action are a few of them. Find one of our endorsed candidates like Jake Johnson and share their proposals to bring costs down on your social media, either on your own personal account or through your local party unit. We'll drop some links in the chat so that you can have some at the ready that you can share. Second, please, if you haven't already, please vote in the primary election. It's August 11th. You can vote now. Early voting's already begun. You can vote now, and please go vote for Peggy Flanagan for U.S. Senate and Matt Little for Congress in CD2 if you live there, or Trina Swanson for CD8 if you live in CD8. These are critical primaries, and our candidates, our endorsed candidates, have the winning message that's going to carry us through November and make sure that we can win up and down the ticket and deliver the massive electoral defeat we're hoping for. Okay, everybody, happy Thursday. Thanks for being with us today on the DFL Daily. We've got 103 days until the November 3rd midterm election. We're focused on doing everything we can to elect Democrats up and down the ballot to make life more affordable for every Minnesotan we can. Let's go win this thing. Thanks, everybody.